Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Abriana, and today in this video, we are going to talk about the 5 reasons I stopped focusing on Facebook and Instagram. Let's get into it. Okay, so yesterday, as we know, well, today is October 5th. Yesterday, October 4th, Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp went down for like a total of 12 hours. It was great. Everyone was on Twitter. Everyone was chopping it up and kikiing, and it was a grand old time. But a lot of people realize that they put so much emphasis on social media for the growth and marketing of their business that what were they going to do if those things were not available anymore? Now, I will do a completely different video on the importance of email lists, but I'm not going to beat you up about that today. I'm not going to beat you up about that. You had enough of that yesterday. But I want to talk about the 5 reasons why I stopped focusing on Facebook and Instagram. And this is a decision that I made in Q3 to change my Q4 content strategy and to actually practice what I was preaching in real time and observing the results that have come from that. So, the number one reason why I stopped focusing on Facebook and Instagram for my marketing is because social first marketing is not a strong strategy. What do you mean by social first? I mean, focusing on social media and putting all of your content primarily on these third party platforms that could go away like they did yesterday, any minute, and you do not have a record of that content, you know, it's not going to bode well for you in the long term. I mean, that is rented territory. I have a blog post about how, social media is your rental property. You're, renting an apartment, whereas your own website, your YouTube, your podcast, that is ownership. That's a mortgage. Okay. You are owning that. Yes, you are, using space on different servers, but when was the last time YouTube went down? And for podcasts specifically, there's so many platforms people can listen to podcasts on. And, I'm a serial podcaster. I have 2 podcasts, Young Black Equestrians and the Digital Hoofprint podcast. And I know that people can listen to them on many different platforms. So I know that that reach is still going to be there. We cannot account for outages. We never know when they're going to happen. And even if these platforms know that they're going to happen, they're not going to tell us. They're not going to tell us at all. So a social first strategy is not going to benefit you in the long run. And as we know, marketing and social media and brand development is a long game. It's a long game. We have to be in it for the long haul. The second reason why I decided to stop focusing on Facebook and Instagram for marketing is because I do this thing called my hype folder. And in my hype folder, entrepreneurship can be so lonely sometimes that you need some, I'm not going to say external validation, but sometimes you need a hype man. Okay. And there's not going to always be someone there to hype you up. So when you're looking at customer feedback and client results, those are some of the things that you can use to motivate you. And a lot of times it's that information that I use to inform decisions that I make in the future. So I have my hype folder of screenshots and emails and different little snippets of things that have been given to me, have been feedback from other people, hyping me up or saying what they enjoyed or what they learned or how I provided value in some way. So in looking at my hype folder, there were several comments about finding me from my podcast, the Digital Hoofprint podcast. And I'm like, yes, this is a sign. I hear you. I get it. And it's not necessarily something that I intentionally ignored before, but I got into my brain, how the heck am I going to produce two podcasts at the same time? Honestly, the way that I'm approaching it now, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. Everything is, kind of edited the same way, edited on a similar platform. So I'm working through that and I'm managing through that. And it's not that I am trying to produce two podcasts and produce content for Facebook and Instagram specifically. It is me using this content, my primary form of content, and using social media to amplify what is already there, to amplify what is owned by me. So it's a little bit of a different workload, and I had to get my mindset around that. What is it going to require for me to produce this? Not as much. It breaks it down a little bit into smaller tasks because the social media is just there to amplify what I've already put the energy and effort into creating. The third, well, let me just say, everyone should have a hype folder. Even if it's just nice things that your friends and family have said about you, there's not always going to be someone who is like on your shoulder, like, yeah, you can do it. Keep going. Entrepreneurship is lonely. Sometimes we have late nights. Sometimes we have early mornings. And there's not always, first of all, sometimes you don't want to talk to people, but you need that little push of motivation. So have a hype folder, save it on your phone, gallery on your phone, your Google Drive, in your sticky notes, whatever it is you need to do. But everybody needs one. Okay. Third reason why I stopped focusing on Facebook and Instagram is because I had to take a second and think about what kind of content I enjoy creating. Now, if you've been following me on Instagram for some amount of time now, you know that I was producing lives every week about a year ago, 6 months to a year ago. I had some life changes happen. And so I stopped doing those weekly lives, but I enjoy having conversation like this. I enjoy producing video and audio content. I will write. I have won awards for my writing, but that comes from a different part of me. That comes from a very emotional and raw part of me that I don't always tap into. So writing has to be a specific kind of area in my creative process. But I can have a conversation all day. I can have a conversation all day long. Like I am good on that. Okay. And so I had to take a second and say, what kind of content do I create? Now that I've looked at the feedback that I've received from potential leads or current clients or past clients, and then I've looked at the type of content that I enjoy creating. Now, girl, obviously something needs to change, right? I can't continue to create all of this live content to sit on a social media platform that may go down and I won't be able to access it, especially if I have not grabbed it or downloaded it to repurpose it in some other way. A lot of times when I do my Instagram lives, I try to stream to Facebook, capture that from Facebook or from the streaming and repurpose it. So there's a lot of repurposing going on, and that's how you prevent content burnout. But the primary way to prevent content burnout is to create content that you enjoy creating. If you are out there trying to force, posting multiple times a day or posting here, posting there, that kind of energy is going to come through in your content. Let's see. The fourth reason why I stopped focusing on Facebook and Instagram for Q4 is because I took a look at my analytics, and what do I say? We make decisions based off of what? Right. Facts, not feelings. So when I took a look at my analytics on my website, my Google Analytics, and the different pages that people come from, I realized, for looking at different time periods, when I was creating content for my podcast and putting videos on YouTube, I got more traffic to my website by direct search or referral from YouTube than I did from social media. Now, since I had been putting that emphasis on Facebook and Instagram Q2, Q3, because it honestly was easier and I was in a little bit of a creative funk, it's now neck and neck. It's now neck and neck. But despite having that neck and neck, where this traffic is coming from, my leads don't reflect that is the best strategy. Okay. The leads, the amount of people inquiring and applying for my services, they do not reflect that is the best strategy for me. So I had to take my feelings out of it, but I like doing reels. I do like doing reels, and I'm going to continue doing reels, but it's going to be for fun. It's not going to be so much emphasis placed on, creating something that is business related, marketing related, branding related all the time. No, I'm going to have fun. And I've started doing that already. And, my following is changing. So look at your analytics, look at the facts. Don't make decisions based on how you feel. That's what I did before. I felt like it was going to be hard producing multiple podcasts. I felt like it was going to be hard creating video content and audio content, and I just felt like it was going to be difficult. And in that time in my life, I was doing a lot of moving. It would have been, but now that I'm in the place that I can make decisions based off the facts, the analytics, the data, then I know that where I'm putting my energy now should produce this type of result. And that is why we track analytics. Number 5, the fifth reason why I stopped focusing on Facebook and Instagram for my marketing is because I started feeling symptoms of like comparison syndrome, or I won't say imposter syndrome, because I know at this point, I know what I'm talking about. And I've achieved results in other people, even if they don't pay for my services, answering questions in the DMs, seeing how their content has changed. They're all of a sudden talking about email lists. Like, I know that what I am preaching is changing people. But when you start looking at other professionals in your industry, or looking at, even if it's, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to go, there is always that little voice in your brain, like, why aren't you there yet? Or how long is it going to take you to get there? I want to be there. I want to get to that place. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of self-confidence and self, just affirmation to say, I am on that journey. I am on my way. I am working towards that. And so I did some things like hiding light counts, and I don't have any notifications. Like, I only get on the apps when I decide to get on the apps. I don't want to be notified of anything. But doing those things helped me reduce the feelings that I was having that what I was doing was not working or not enough. And honestly, when we look at the facts, the numbers, it was not working as effectively, right? So my facts and my feelings are kind of lining up. And so it's like, okay, girl, create the content that you enjoy, create what comes with ease to you, create what you know is valuable and what matters and what can help people, and do that. And so, a quarter is 3 months out of the year. We are headed into the fourth quarter. There's going to be so much banananess, especially, prepping horses for the winter. If you live in a climate that has that kind of weather change, trying to make sure you're getting hay stocked up, trying to make sure that you're keeping people in the barn. If kids aren't riding, then horses aren't being ridden, then horses aren't getting the additional services that they need. If you are like an equine service provider, there's so many things that change when we go into the wintertime. So just think about how this is a good time for you to make some adjustments so you can reach those people you need to reach, secure these clients so that you can secure your monthly revenue. Just take a second to think about, is this the time I need to change something just a little bit? You don't have to do a full pivot. You don't have to get completely off of a social media platform, but you do have to be intentional about the kind of stuff that you are creating for your marketing if that is what is important to you. So thank you for tuning in to this video today. We talked about 5 reasons why I stopped focusing on Facebook and Instagram for my content strategy in Q4. And I hope that you learned something from this video. If you want to get in touch with me, head over to blackunicorncreative.com or hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. I'm still there at Black Unicorn Creative, and I can answer any questions or send you some motivation because I'm all about that too. All right, y'all. I'll see you next time.